Hello, and welcome back to another basement home theater update. This is going to be an overview of my entire setup and the details that are currently planned for it. To begin, we will start with the design, which included these soffits around the perimeter of the theater area. I did a separate video on how I built these, so feel free to check that out for more details. There were several reasons why I built the soffits, but it will also help to break up the paint colors, as outside of the theater area, like in the bar here, will be a much lighter color, but everything inside of the soffit area will be a dark color in a matte finish to help minimize reflections from the projector. The other feature I built into the soffits is an LED track made from 2x3s, one being horizontal and the other mounted vertically, which leaves a nice little channel for LED strips to hide in. This channel runs the entire perimeter of the soffits and will light up the ceiling. The projector box hangs down from the soffits on the rear wall. This is going to be housing the Epson 5050 UB projector that I have chosen for my theater. For more details, check out my video that I did on this projector. The box has a removable ceiling, which gives me access up into the soffit area where the outlets and other cables are located. I still need to install some sort of grommet or wire pass-through, either into the ceiling or in that back part towards the rear wall. Above the false ceiling are 3 total outlets, which are all surge protected from the main AV rack. I'll explain how that works when we get to the rack section of this video. There's a Smurf tube that holds the fiber optic HDMI cable and a single run of Cat 6, which is not inside of the Smurf tube, it just looks that way. This is a 1.5 inch PVC pipe that is for future purposes only at this time. There is only a string running through it for pulling cable. This pipe runs through the soffits to the main AV rack area behind the front wall. The AV rack is going to sit behind the front wall on a stand to get it up off of the floor. This will make it easier to see and access everything inside of the rack. And this is the EcoGear 20U open frame rack that I'm going to be using. I purchased it from Amazon. You can see the link in the description below, or the video that I previously did on this rack. Supplying the power to the theater is a dedicated 20 amp circuit that comes in just above the AV rack. There are 4 total outlets. This extension cable will plug into the line conditioner or surge protector. The other end plugs into this pronged outlet here and sends power through Romex cable up to the 3 outlets that are above the projector box that we saw earlier in this video. This is an in-wall kit that I purchased from Amazon as well. You can find the link in the description below. And this is how I'm going to have my projector on surge protection. Up above you'll see where all the speaker wires come into the rack area, along with 3 separate runs of Cat 6 network cable. Above the speaker runs is the other end of the Smurf tube that runs to the projector box for the fiber HDMI cable to run through. And on the other side over here is our end of the 1.5 inch PVC pipe that runs through the soffit to the side of the projector box. These 2 switches are the disconnects for the 2 outlets that are inside of the subwoofer cavity. This way you can turn off the subwoofers at the flick of a switch. Both of these outlets are Panamax surge protected outlets, and there will be 1 subwoofer per outlet for 2 total subwoofers. For power on the rear wall, we will have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 outlets behind our row of seating. The equipment that is going to run my theater is the Denon AVR X4700H. I will be doing a separate video on this AVR soon, so stay tuned for that. My audio setup is going to consist of a 5.2.4 setup. That is 5 mains for the bass layer, 2 subwoofers, and 4 Atmos height speakers. All 5 of the mains are the exact same speaker. The acoustically transparent screen will sit between the left and right mains, which are recessed into the wall. The center channel, as you can see, will be mounted right in the middle of the cavity. The 2 rear surrounds will hang from these angle brackets and sit just behind the row of seating. The 2 SVS PB1000 Pro subwoofers will sit in this cavity behind the acoustically transparent screen. The 4 Atmos speakers will reside in the ceiling, as you can see here. I pre-wired the rear wall with 2 additional speaker runs if I ever wanted to add 2 more rear surround channels, making it a 7-dot system instead of a 5-dot system. The speaker wire in the middle, coming out of the wall at the bottom, is 3 separate runs of speaker wire that will go to the bass shaker setup that I'm planning on running. It will consist of 6 total shakers, 2 shakers per speaker wire to make it an 8 ohm load. For screen details, I'm going with a 16:9 aspect ratio that will be right at 140 inches diagonally. When watching widescreen format movies, I'll still have a roughly 135-inch screen with the black bars on the top and the bottom. I just did a whole video on all these details and why I chose a 16:9 screen versus a CinemaScope screen for my theater. So go check that video out for more details. The lighting consists of 4 4-inch recessed can lights. The lights themselves are Lumeri brand Wi-Fi lights I purchased from Amazon. As soon as we get some paint on these ceilings, we'll be able to get these installed, and I'll do a video on these as well. I wired the 4 can lights on 2 separate switches, one for the front row and one for the rear row. That way they can be controlled separately. However, being that these lights are Wi-Fi controlled, the switches will be left on all the time, and then I can control them through an app or through an assistant like an Amazon or Google device. So the next steps are going to be some paint. We're going to get some paint on the walls and the ceiling, and then we also need to paint all the bar area here. The ceiling has been painted already in the bar. We're going to leave that white. So we got a couple walls to paint down here. I've got bedroom 1 and bedroom 2 to paint. This will probably be that requisite gray, and then everything in here will be dark ceiling, back wall, front wall. So that's where we're at. Our cabinets are ordered for the bar area. Get all the painting done in the meantime here. We'll get the cabinets installed for the bar, and then we'll be able to move on to our flooring, which we'll have a little bit of, probably right to where this wall is. We'll have some vinyl flooring there, but then everything else out here will all be nice carpet. So we have a nice soft surface on the cold floor and throughout the bedrooms and stuff. So getting really close. I gotta build a screen frame yet. I've got the material. So I got the screen to build. And then the fun stuff will be putting everything together, running the HDMI cable, and getting everything all hooked up once we get everything painted, installing some speakers and putting everything together. So stay tuned, it's going to be a lot of fun coming up in the next couple videos. You should be able to see some color on the walls when I come back next time. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, we'll see you soon.